on, my home studio engineers? Thank you so much for checking out the Home Recording Network, and welcome back for day 23, in which I am trying to push you towards creating better home studio mixes and songs by walking you through this song that was mixed and tracked in my home studio. And just like I've done in all the other videos, here is a clip from the song we're going over in case you missed it.
These kings and queens, they all fall, they all fall. Headless back into destined unaware just what will be done. Looking for treason and overtake the throne and sink to the bottom on our own.
All right, so we've been through some pre-mix ideas. We went through the drums, the bass, the guitar. We got started on our final mix bus. And last video, we spoke about the vocal chain I use, but we really didn't get into any of the moves that I've made. So today's video is going to be all about the EQ on the vocal in this mix. First, if any of my content has been helpful to you, please don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so that I can reach more home studio engineers out there that may need help. So let's get into some of the EQ on the vocals in this song. I'm just going to choose the verse to go over the EQ moves because later on in a couple days, I'm going to release a video on how to spice up your chorus vocals and almost make them more exciting than your verse vocals. So we'll just take a peek at the verse, but here is what it sounds like soloed.
And overtake the throne and sink to the bottom on our own. We're fighting for freedom that we'll never know.
All right, I'm just going to bypass all the effects so we can just hear the dry vocal. And like we went over last video, my first move after pitch correction is to do some subtractive EQ. Now, I do also have a video out there on this subject, on the main areas I like to cut in the voice, but we'll go over it again here and I'll show you where all these cuts are. This first EQ is all about getting rid of anything I don't like in the vocal, any frequency area that doesn't sound pleasing to my ears. Now, these aren't very big cuts, but I'm going to show them all to you. So this top one up here is something that we showed in the last video in the Vox Thick effect send. So this is the really harsh area of the voice, and I'll show you what this sounds like.
And overtake the throne and sink to the bottom.
Yeah, it's really harsh, so we can kind of tame the voice down and make it sound a bit smoother by taking this out.
And overtake the throne and sink to the bottom.
Now, in between, let's say 300 hertz and 500 hertz, there can be some mud. So this would be an area that I would typically cut if I think that the vocal is a bit too muddy.
And overtake the throne and sink to the on our own.
And here we just have a little bit more of that around 400.
And overtake the throne and sink to the
It just sounds horrible. And by taking a little bit of this out, we can just make our vocalist sound a bit more clear.
and overtake the throne and sink to the bottom.
This last little dip out around 150 hertz is an area that you can get some buildup if your singer is maybe standing too close to the microphone and you get some of that proximity effect. And that's usually the case these days. People stand pretty close to the microphones. I always try to tell my singers to, not be right up on it. But of course, we don't want them too far away. So dipping out a little bit around 150 will clean up some additional mud and any low end rumble that the microphone is picking up. Like I said in the last video, all my additive EQ is done with the next plugin, which is the SSL channel. Now, I love this EQ, and you might say, well, can't you just do all these moves with the Pro Q3 or any visual EQ that you're using? Well, yes, you can. If you're doing that, that's completely fine. But these EQs really don't sound like anything. They don't color the tone at all. And that's one of the reasons why I like using analog modeled EQs. They just sound better to my ear, at least. You don't have to take my advice. You can keep using whatever EQ you like. I'm just showing you what I've learned and come to like over the years. But this is my go-to EQ. Let's look at some of the moves I made. Now, for brightness and to get this singer above the music, I have boosted quite a bit, about 7 dB at about 12K. Now, this is what I like to call the air in the singer's voice. So let me just play around with this for you.
Sink to the bottom on our own. We're fighting for freedom that we'll never know.
Now, again, like I said in the last video, all this should be done in context with the music. So if I were mixing this and I started at 0 dB, it would go a bit like this.
And sink to the bottom on our own. We're fighting for freedom.
And just kind of search around for the amount of top end that you would like your singer to have. Two of my other favorite places to boost a vocal for some more aggression and so the singer can be on top of the mix and be understood a bit more would be right at 1.5K and 2.5K. So I will play this with the music and I'll actually mess around with these boosts so you can hear them a bit more.
Destin's unaware just what will be done. Looking for treason and overtake the throne and sink to the bottom on our own.
Yeah, and if you boost those areas too much, like we just did, it can actually start to sound really cool, like a filter effect. And those are actually cool effects to use in your music. In a lot of mixes, I will boost those like crazy, just for maybe a sentence or a specific part in the song, maybe a bridge, to have the singer sound almost distorted or something like that. Now, if your singer needs more low end, which we didn't add any here, but that would be right around 200, and I'll just show you what that sounds like.
Destiny's unaware just what will be done. Looking for treason.
Yeah, so if your singer is sounding a bit too thin, then a few dB boost right there at 200 is going to thicken them up nicely. Those are all my typical EQ areas in the voice, but we still have tons to go over with regard to the vocals in this song. So I hope to see you back tomorrow where we're going to tackle compression on this vocal, and then we'll work our way through the rest of the days and kind of finish this mix off and eventually get on to mastering. But that's it. Happy mixing, guys. Hey guys, if you like this video, be sure to download your free Ultimate Home Studio Mix Guide with your go-to EQ and compression settings for all your tracks. And also be sure to register for my free online mix training that I hold a couple times a week so that you can learn how to make radio quality music from your home without breaking the bank.